Moving on now, and for 10 years, the families of Andrew Chan and Mayuran Sukumaran have lived with unimaginable grief. Grief made worse with the knowledge that the AFP played a part in their sons being sentenced to death.
31-year-old Andrew Chan and 33-year-old Mayuran Sukumaran are facing death by firing squad. There are no signs that Indonesia will show mercy. Time is running out. For Brisbane lawyer Robert Myers, it should never have been this way.
There is no doubt that the AFP is solely responsible, and as I've said in the past, their blood will be on the hands of the AFP.
In 2005, Scott Rush's father, Lee, got wind of a planned trip to Bali. Worried he was up to no good, he contacted Robert to get his advice.
I called my contact at the AFP and really inquired if there was anything that we could do to stop Scott, and he called me back with this assurance that he was going to be stopped at the airport, that the police were going to say, "Don't step out of line while you're overseas."
But instead, the Australian Federal Police wrote to their Indonesian counterparts, alerting them to the drug-running plot. Just days later, Scott Rush was arrested with 3 other mules and Andrew attempting to smuggle 8.2 kilos of heroin back to Australia. The other 4, including Mayuran, were apprehended not long after. All 9 of them potentially faced the death penalty.
I've not known it to be the case that we would refuse to cooperate, because if people were arrested, there may be a view that the offence for which they might be charged could carry a death penalty.
But it was 2005, just 3 years after the first Bali bombings, and Australia's relationship with Indonesia had radically changed.
The Bali bombing greatly ramped up AFP's overseas involvement in counter-narcotics, but in hindsight things would have been done differently.
You cannot sacrifice the lives of 9 Australian citizens for the sake of intelligence. You cannot pay that price.
Right now, Andrew and Mayuran are being visited by their families. Behind the scenes, lawyers and politicians are desperately lobbying for mercy, trying to find a way to keep hope alive.
It's such a tricky one, this one. I mean, I think we're all against the death penalty, but I mean, it's not the AFP's job to protect people conducting criminal behaviour. I mean, that's where it gets a little bit tricky for me. I'm not sure if there were tactics involved of why they did what they did. We don't really know that, but that's where it gets a little bit grey.
And they haven't really answered that. We approached them for comment today and they said they understand it's a difficult time for these 2 men as well as their family and friends. They say they've always acted appropriately in accordance with Australian and international policies, and also say it respects Indonesia's legal system, adding that it can't limit its cooperation to countries that have the same legal system as Australia. But there's still things they haven't addressed.
That doesn't answer it to me. And they may well be justified. But the question isn't should they have let them go. The question is should they have waited till they got to Australia and then arrested them? They could be in prison here.
I guess I would say we don't know the tactics. Why those tactics? Why they chose to do it in Indonesia?
Sure, but I reckon they should make that clear, shouldn't they?
Sure.
Because what I would hate to think is that because we're cooperating with Indonesia on counter-terrorism, that this is kind of the price of that these guys are being sacrificed in the war on terror or something. We won't extradite people to a country that have the death penalty. I know this isn't exactly the same situation, but you would have. I just want that clarified. Yeah. I don't know if they've done something wrong, but I think it's
fair enough.
Clarified. Well, anyway, Pastor Rob Buckingham has been visiting Andrew and Mayuran in prison for several years, and he joins us now. Rob, you've got your bags ready to go to see them one last time. When do you think that will be?
Really unsure at the moment. As you say, the bags are packed. We're still going through, or the lawyers are still going through the legal process, which could take days, weeks or even months. But as soon as we get word one way or the other, my wife and I will definitely be going over there.
Rob, what will you say to them?
I was there actually just over a week ago. I guess we'll just continue the conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago. Both the guys obviously are handling it the best way they can. Andrew is very kind of bold and open personality, so he's quite upbeat. In fact, when he heard that his clemency had been denied, the first thing he did was say, "Sorry guys, I've just got to go and help one of the other prisoners right now who's not well." And Mayuran is a lot more sensitive. And so kind of sit and listen to him and just really try and encourage him where he's at the moment.
Rob, have you spoken to the men's families and how are they doing?
The families are doing their very best. The Chan family flew in today, so they'll be spending time with Andrew over the next few days. They want to see the boys live. And I think probably the hardest for them right now is knowing that both of the sons, although they did the wrong thing 10 years ago, they did a very silly thing, but during the last 10 years they have both been reformed and rehabilitated, and so there's a certain amount of grief, I guess, in what is the point in taking two reformed, rehabilitated men out and executing them.
Well, Rob, it's going to be a gruelling wait, but thank you so much for speaking to us.
Great pleasure, thank you.
We're back home and a change of pace now.